Imagine waking up every day feeling like you're running on autopilot. You go through the motions, checking tasks off a list, but at the end of the day, something still feels missing. You're doing a lot, but are you moving toward what truly matters? Here's the truth. The most powerful change doesn't come from doing more. It comes from understanding why you do what you do. When you connect with your purpose, when you understand the real reason behind your actions, everything shifts. Your work becomes meaningful. Your challenges become lessons. Your failures, they're simply part of the path forward. If you commit to watching this every day, you'll start to see patterns. You'll notice where you're giving your energy to things that don't serve you, and where you can redirect it to what truly aligns with your values. Habits start to form, not because someone told you to act differently, but because your vision becomes clear and your actions follow naturally. Remember, success isn't measured by what you accumulate or the praise you receive. It's measured by the impact you make, the people you lift, and the difference you create in the world around you. Every small step you take toward clarity, purpose, and intentional action compounds. Over time, it transforms your life. So, watch this every day. Let it remind you of your purpose. Let it guide you through distractions, fear, and doubt. Let it awaken the courage to make decisions that align with your values, even when it's uncomfortable. Because when you live with purpose, when you act from clarity, you don't just survive, you thrive. Your life doesn't change because of luck. It changes because of consistent action guided by deep understanding. Start today and keep showing up every single day. Watch this, absorb it, let it guide you. And your life will transform in ways you never thought possible. When you truly understand the reason behind what you do, everything changes. Purpose is more than just a vague idea or a goal written on a list. It is the fuel that powers your actions, the anchor that keeps you steady when challenges arise, and the compass that guides you when life gets confusing. Without purpose, you move through life reactively, responding to circumstances, distractions, and external pressures. But with purpose, every action you take has meaning, every decision is intentional, and every setback becomes an opportunity to learn and grow. Purpose is not something you find once and then forget. It is something you uncover and refine as you live, as you face challenges, and as you interact with the world around you. It is deeply personal and uniquely yours. When you connect with it, it transforms mundane routines into deliberate practices. Washing dishes, answering emails, or commuting to work are no longer just tasks to get through. They become part of a larger narrative that contributes to something meaningful. This perspective changes how you experience life, turning effort into engagement, and work into a form of contribution. When purpose drives your actions, motivation comes from within rather than from external rewards. You stop chasing fleeting recognition or material gain as your primary source of energy. Instead, the satisfaction of knowing you are living in alignment with your values and vision becomes your driving force. This internal motivation is more sustainable and resilient than any external reward because it does not depend on approval, luck, or circumstance. Even on days when results are slow or challenges feel insurmountable, purpose keeps you moving forward. It gives you a reason to persist when the immediate payoff is unclear, and it ensures that your efforts are not wasted but are instead building towards something meaningful. Purpose also influences how you handle challenges and setbacks. When you act without purpose, obstacles can feel like insurmountable barriers. They interrupt your momentum, drain your energy, and leave you questioning the worth of your efforts. But when purpose guides you, challenges become a natural part of the journey. They are signals, lessons, and opportunities to grow stronger. Every difficulty becomes a test of your commitment to your mission and a chance to refine your approach. The resilience that comes from purpose allows you to navigate adversity with clarity and confidence because you understand that every step, even a difficult one, is moving you closer to what matters most. Furthermore, purpose shapes not only you do, but how you do it. It affects the quality of your work, your interactions with others, and the impact you leave behind. People who act with purpose are naturally inspiring. Their consistency, passion, and integrity draw others toward them. They do not need to force influence or command attention because their actions reflect a clear, compelling reason for being. Purpose becomes contagious, creating ripple effects that extend far beyond individual effort. The difference between someone who merely works and someone who leads or transforms is often the presence of purpose in every action they take. Living with purpose requires reflection and honesty. It means asking difficult questions. Why do I do what I do? What difference do I want to make? Am I living in line with my values, or am I drifting? Answering these questions requires courage because it often reveals areas of life where we are complacent, distracted, or misaligned. But this self-awareness is invaluable because it allows you to take control of your life and direct your energy toward actions that truly matter. Purpose gives life coherence, focus, and direction. It turns ordinary effort into extraordinary progress. Ultimately, when purpose drives action, life stops feeling random or overwhelming. Each day gains meaning, each decision carries weight, and every challenge becomes an opportunity to contribute to something larger than yourself. Purpose is not just a motivator. It is the lens through which every action, choice, and moment is filtered. It ensures that your energy is spent intentionally, your efforts are aligned with your values, and your life moves in the direction of significance. When purpose drives action, it changes everything. Clarity is the foundation of focus. Without it, energy is scattered, decisions feel overwhelming, and progress seems slow, no matter how hard you work. When you lack clarity, life becomes a series of reactions to external circumstances. You respond to emails, notifications, and urgencies without understanding which actions truly matter. You may be busy, but being busy is not the same as being productive or purposeful. Focus requires knowing exactly what you want to achieve, why it matters, and what steps will move you forward. Clarity is the lens that allows you to see your path clearly, while focus is the force that keeps you moving along it. Clarity begins with reflection. It requires you to step back from the noise of daily life and ask yourself critical questions. What are my priorities? What am I trying to achieve in the short term and in the long term? What actions will actually bring me closer to my goals? When you answer these questions honestly, you start to separate what is important from what is merely urgent. Many people mistake business for progress, filling their days with tasks that feel productive but don't contribute to meaningful outcomes. Clarity allows you to distinguish between distractions and activities that genuinely matter, giving you the power to allocate your energy wisely. Once clarity is established, focus naturally follows. Focus is not about forcing yourself to work harder or longer. It is about directing your attention toward the right things. When you know what matters most, you stop wasting energy on tasks that do not align with your purpose or goals. Instead, you dedicate your time, effort, and creativity to actions that move you closer to your vision. This creates momentum, and momentum is the secret to achievement. Small, consistent steps toward a clear objective compound over time, producing results that overwhelm sporadic bursts of effort. Focus is the multiplier of clarity. It transforms understanding into tangible progress. Clarity also reduces mental fatigue. When your goals and priorities are ambiguous, your mind constantly debates choices, reconsiders decisions, and worries about whether you're on the right path. This internal friction drains energy and slows progress. Clear thinking, on the other hand, allows you to make decisions quickly and confidently. When you know what matters most, every choice becomes simpler because it can be measured against your purpose. You no longer spend time second-guessing yourself. Instead, you move deliberately, with confidence that your actions align with your vision. This mental clarity fuels focus, creating a cycle of productivity and intentionality that reinforces itself over time. Another aspect of clarity is understanding your limitations. You cannot do everything, and trying to do so will dilute your focus. Clarity helps you recognize where your efforts are best spent and where delegation or elimination is necessary. It also helps you set boundaries, say no to distractions, and protect your time and energy. By prioritizing what truly matters, you create the conditions for sustained focus. Focus without clarity is like running on a treadmill. Lots of movement, but no forward progress. Clarity ensures that your focus propels you in the right direction. Clarity also shapes your long-term vision. It helps you connect daily actions to larger goals, ensuring that each step contributes to meaningful outcomes. When your vision is clear, every task, every decision, and every habit becomes aligned with your objectives. This alignment creates flow, reduces wasted effort, and magnifies impact. Focus guided by clarity is not about perfection, it is about direction and alignment. It allows you to invest in actions that matter most, ensuring that your energy and time yield the highest return in terms of personal growth, impact, and fulfillment. Ultimately, clarity creates focus because it provides a map for your journey. Without a map, it is easy to get lost in distractions, reactive behaviors, and unnecessary stress. With clarity, every choice, action, and effort is purposeful. Focus becomes natural, sustainable, and powerful. By committing to understanding what truly matters, reflecting on your priorities, and eliminating what does not serve you, you create a life where attention and energy are directed toward meaningful outcomes. Clarity transforms chaos into order, noise into purpose, and scattered effort into deliberate progress. When clarity is present, focus is inevitable, and your life begins to move in a direction that matters. Change is rarely sudden or dramatic. True transformation, whether in your career, relationships, or personal growth, is the result of small, consistent actions taken over time. Most people underestimate the power of these incremental steps because they look for immediate results or dramatic breakthroughs. They expect success to arrive in a single moment of inspiration or a massive effort. But the reality is far different. Progress is often invisible in the short term, but cumulative over the long term. Small, consistent steps are the building blocks of lasting achievement, and understanding this principle can completely shift how you approach your life. Consistency creates momentum. Each small action you take adds up, gradually producing results that might initially seem insignificant. Writing for just 30 minutes a day will eventually result in completed articles or a finished book. Exercising for 20 minutes each day gradually improves your health and endurance. Saving a small amount of money each month can grow into a substantial financial cushion over time. The key is repetition. The power of small actions lies not in their immediate impact, but in their accumulation. Over days, weeks, and months, these tiny efforts compound, producing results far greater than you might imagine. Small steps also build confidence. When you attempt a large goal all at once, it can feel overwhelming and unattainable. The size of the task can intimidate you, creating procrastination or self-doubt. But when you break it down into manageable actions, each success reinforces your ability to continue. Completing small steps provides a sense of achievement and proof that progress is possible. This confidence is self-reinforcing. The more consistent effort you put in, the more you trust in your ability to achieve your goals. Momentum and confidence together make it easier to tackle bigger challenges over time. Another advantage of small, consistent steps is that they allow for learning and adaptation. Life is unpredictable, and large leaps often carry higher risk because there is little room for adjustment. Incremental progress, on the other hand, provides feedback along the way. You can observe what works, what doesn't, and refine your approach. Each small action becomes an experiment that teaches you something valuable. This iterative process reduces mistakes, improves skill development, and increases the likelihood of long-term success. Change is not about speed, it's about direction, and small steps ensure you are moving in the right direction while adjusting as needed. Consistency also cultivates discipline and habit. When you commit to taking deliberate actions daily, even when motivation is low, you create a structure for your life that supports growth. Motivation is fleeting, it comes and goes. Discipline, on the other hand, grows stronger with repeated action. Habits are formed by repeated behavior, and once a positive habit is established, it operates automatically, reducing the reliance on willpower. The compounding effect of habits amplifies small efforts into significant life changes. Over time, the actions that once felt small or trivial become the foundation of your success. Big change does not require a single extraordinary effort. It requires sustained, thoughtful action. Most success stories are not the result of luck or sudden inspiration. They are the outcome of consistent effort applied over long periods. Even small actions, when done consistently, create ripple effects. Learning a new skill, investing time in relationships, or improving personal health might feel incremental day to day, but when accumulated, these small efforts reshape your life entirely. The key is patience, persistence, and unwavering commitment to doing a little each day. Ultimately, small, consistent steps lead to big change because life is built on accumulation. Every choice, every action, every moment matters. By committing to daily effort, no matter how minor it may seem, you harness the compounding power of consistency. Progress becomes inevitable, and transformation becomes a natural consequence of your dedication. When you embrace the principle of small, consistent steps, you stop waiting for perfect conditions, monumental breakthroughs, or the perfect moment. You begin to act every day, knowing that over time, your life will shift in ways that are profound, meaningful, and lasting. Too often, we are taught to measure success by accumulation. How much money we have, how many possessions we own, or how many accolades we can collect. Society constantly emphasizes more and more wealth, more followers, more recognition. But real fulfillment and lasting success do not come from accumulation alone. They come from impact. The difference you make in the lives of others, the value you create, and the positive change you contribute to the world around you. Focusing on impact shifts your perspective from self-centered gain to meaningful contribution, and it transforms the way you live, work, and interact with others. Impact is powerful because it creates lasting value. Accumulated wealth or achievements can be temporary. They can be lost, forgotten, or replaced. But the effects of your positive actions, the lives you touch, and the lessons you share can ripple far beyond your immediate environment. When you focus on impact, you think beyond yourself. You consider how your choices, your efforts, and your leadership affect the people around you. You begin to understand that true success is not what you gain personally, but what you give, create, and inspire in others. The mark you leave through your contributions can outlive you, shaping communities, relationships, and even generations. Focusing on impact also changes how you prioritize your time and energy. Instead of chasing tasks or accomplishments that simply pad your resume or your bank account, you invest in activities that matter. You ask yourself, will this action help someone else? Will this create value beyond myself? Will this make a difference? This perspective forces intentionality. You stop reacting to what looks important in the moment and start acting with purpose. Your decisions are guided not by short-term gains, but by long-term influence. In doing so, you not only create meaningful outcomes, but also cultivate respect, trust, and inspiration in those around you. Impact requires a mindset shift. Accumulation is often visible and easily measured, while impact is subtle and long-term. It may not show immediate results, and it may go unrecognized at first. Yet, its effects compound over time. A kind word, a helpful action, a mentoring session, or a small contribution to your community may seem insignificant in the moment, but the ripple effect can be enormous. The lives you touch may go on to touch others, spreading influence far beyond what you could see or imagine. True impact is not self-serving. It grows quietly, patiently, and steadily, leaving a legacy that accumulation alone can never achieve. Impact also builds deeper fulfillment and meaning. Accumulation satisfies temporarily. It provides comfort or recognition, but rarely purpose. Impact, on the other hand, fulfills a human need for connection, contribution, and significance. When you focus on the difference you make, you begin to experience a sense of purpose that cannot be bought or measured by possessions. It motivates you to act not out of fear or obligation, but from genuine care, creativity, and commitment. It elevates your life from routine existence to one of intentional influence. Moreover, impact encourages collaboration and empathy. When you aim to make a difference, You naturally think about others' needs, perspectives, and potential. You invest in relationships, mentorship, and teamwork because you understand that the greatest impact often comes through collective effort rather than solitary achievement. This approach strengthens communities, builds trust, and inspires others to also pursue meaningful contributions. The more you focus on impact, the more you amplify your influence, creating a cycle of positive action that extends far beyond your personal goals. Ultimately, prioritizing impact over accumulation transforms your life. It shifts your focus from self-interest to contribution, from temporary gains to lasting value. It allows you to measure success not by what you own, but by the difference you create. When impact becomes your guiding principle, every action gains purpose, every decision carries weight, and every effort contributes to a legacy that endures. Accumulation may bring comfort, but impact brings fulfillment. It turns ordinary lives into extraordinary ones and ensures that your presence in the world leaves it better than you found it. Courage is often misunderstood. Many people think of it as a bold, dramatic act, like standing up in front of a crowd or taking a massive risk. But true courage is quieter, more consistent, and far more demanding. It is the courage to align your actions with your values, to live in a way that reflects who you truly are, even when it is uncomfortable, unpopular, or risky. This type of courage is the foundation of authenticity, integrity, and meaningful living, and it has the power to transform your life in profound ways. Aligning with your values requires deep self-awareness. You must first understand what you stand for, what matters most to you, and what principles guide your decisions. Values are the compass that directs your life. They are not abstract ideas, but practical guides for everyday behavior. Yet, knowing your values is only the first step. The true test comes when your choices challenge those values or when external pressures tempt you to compromise. Courage is the bridge between knowing and doing. It allows you to act in alignment with your principles, even when it is difficult. Living in accordance with your values is rarely the easiest path. Society, peers, and even meaning friends or family can pressure you to conform, settle, or take shortcuts. It is easy to rationalize compromises, convincing yourself that small deviations are harmless. But every time you ignore your values, you chip away at your sense of integrity and self-respect. Over time, this erosion creates dissatisfaction, stress, and a feeling of being disconnected from yourself. Courage enables you to resist these pressures. It allows you to stand firm in your beliefs, make decisions that honor your principles, and live a life that is true to who you are. Courage also requires facing fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of rejection. These are natural responses when you act according to your values, especially in environments where others may not share your perspective. But fear is not a reason to compromise. It is a signal that you are stepping into growth, taking responsibility, and making choices that matter. When you act with courage, fear becomes a guide rather than a barrier. You learn to move forward despite discomfort, knowing that alignment with your values will lead to greater fulfillment and respect in the long term. Living with courage aligned to values creates consistency and trust. People around you notice when your actions match your words. They see reliability, integrity, and authenticity, which builds stronger relationships and inspires others. Courage is contagious. It empowers others to reflect on their own values and act with integrity. By showing up consistently in alignment with what you believe, you contribute to an environment of honesty, accountability, and meaningful connection. This is far more impactful than temporary success achieved through compromise or pretense. Furthermore, aligning with your values fosters resilience. Life is full of challenges, setbacks, and unexpected changes. When you know what you stand for and act accordingly, you have a steady foundation to navigate difficulties. Your values become anchors that keep you grounded, providing clarity and guidance even in uncertainty. Courage is what allows you to hold fast to those anchors, making decisions that are consistent, ethical, and aligned with your long-term vision rather than succumbing to short-term pressures or conveniences. Ultimately, courage to align with your values is about living authentically. It is about refusing to settle for a life dictated by others' expectations or superficial success. It is about making choices that reflect your principles, even when it is uncomfortable, slow, or challenging. This type of courage shapes character, builds trust, strengthens relationships, and creates a sense of fulfillment that external achievements cannot replicate. When you consistently choose alignment over compromise, you craft a life of integrity, purpose, and meaning. In every moment, courage allows you to live not just a life of action, but a life that is true, intentional, and deeply rewarding. Daily reinforcement is the secret to lasting change and meaningful growth. Most people underestimate the power of repetition and consistency, thinking that a single burst of effort, a moment of inspiration, or a rare display of motivation is enough to transform their lives. But real transformation does not happen overnight. It happens when you commit to reinforcing the habits, mindset, and behaviors that align with your goals every single day. Daily reinforcement turns intention into action, action into habit, and habit into a way of life. The human mind is built to notice patterns, and it learns best through repetition. When you expose yourself repeatedly to a message, a behavior, or a principle, it gradually becomes internalized. This applies to both positive and negative patterns. Habits are formed not by grand gestures, but by the accumulation of small, consistent actions. By reinforcing constructive behaviors daily, you strengthen neural pathways that make these behaviors automatic. Daily reinforcement ensures that what you value and what you aim for becomes embedded in your identity rather than remaining a fleeting aspiration. Reinforcement also combats the natural tendency toward distraction and forgetfulness. Life is full of competing demands, interruptions, and pressures. Without daily reinforcement, even the most important intentions can be pushed aside, delayed, or forgotten. When you make a conscious effort to revisit your purpose, your goals, and your priorities every day, you maintain focus and prevent drift. Daily reinforcement acts like a compass, keeping you on course when distractions threaten to pull you off track. Over time, it creates discipline, allowing you to navigate challenges and uncertainties without losing sight of what truly matters. Another critical aspect of daily reinforcement is that it builds resilience and persistence. Progress is rarely linear. Setbacks, failures, and obstacles are inevitable. When you reinforce your mindset and habits every day, you develop the mental and emotional strength to face these challenges without giving up. Each act of reinforcement, no matter how small, reminds you of your capability, your goals, and your commitment. It strengthens your ability to stay consistent even when motivation wanes, ensuring that temporary difficulties do not derail long-term progress. Daily reinforcement also amplifies growth by compounding small gains. A single daily action may seem insignificant, but repeated consistently over time, it creates remarkable results. Reading a few pages each day expands knowledge exponentially over months and years. Practicing a skill daily gradually sharpens mastery. Reflecting on gratitude each morning transforms perspective. Reinforcement allows small, incremental efforts to accumulate, producing exponential growth that far surpasses sporadic or occasional effort. The magic of daily reinforcement lies in this compounding effect. Small actions repeated consistently lead to monumental change. Moreover, daily reinforcement strengthens your identity. The more you consistently act in alignment with your values and goals, the more those actions define who you are. Over time, what you do daily becomes part of your self-concept. You stop thinking of your habits as tasks to check off a list and start seeing them as expressions of your identity and character. This alignment between action and identity creates authenticity, confidence, and a sense of purpose that fuels further growth. Daily reinforcement ensures that change is not just external, but internal. It shapes the person you become. Ultimately, daily reinforcement is the bridge between intention and transformation. Inspiration alone cannot sustain long-term progress. It is the consistent, repeated actions that turn vision into reality. By committing to revisit your goals, practice your habits, and reinforce your mindset every day, you create momentum, discipline, and clarity. Over time, This continuous reinforcement compounds into meaningful results, resilience, and lasting change. Daily reinforcement is not about perfection or doing everything at once. It is about showing up consistently, taking deliberate steps, and allowing the power of repetition to transform your life. Consistency builds change, repetition solidifies it, and daily reinforcement makes it inevitable.